Good afternoon, pilgrims. Today we'll continue with Fox's Book of Martyrs, second persecution under Domitian, AD 81. The Emperor Domitian, he was naturally inclined to cruelty. First he slew his brother, and then raised the second persecution against the Christians. And in his rage he put to death some of the Roman senators, some through malice and others to confiscate their estates. Evidently he was quite a thief and corrupt, like a lot of today's politicians. Anyway, he then commanded all the lineage of David to be put to death. And among the numerous martyrs that suffered during this persecution was Simeon, Bishop of Jerusalem, who was crucified, and St. John, who was boiled in oil and afterward banished to Patmos. Flavia, the daughter of a Roman senator, was likewise banished to Pontus, and law was made that no Christian once brought before the tribunal should be exempted from punishment without renouncing his religion. A variety of fabricated tales were, during this reign, composed in order to injure the Christians. Such was the infatuation of the pagans that if famine, pestilence, or earthquakes afflicted any of the Roman provinces, it was laid upon the Christians. These persecutions among the Christians increased the number of informers, and many for the sake of gain, swore away the lives of the innocent. Another hardship was that when any Christian was brought before the magistrate, a test oath was proposed, when if they refused to take it, death was pronounced against them, and if they confessed themselves Christians, the sentence was the same. So it mattered not whether you gave your heart and soul to Satan or kept it for Jesus. You were dead. You were martyred. The following were the most remarkable among the numerous martyrs who suffered during this persecution. Dionysius, the Areopagite, was an Athenian by birth and educated in all the useful and ornamental literature of Greece. He then traveled to Egypt to study astronomy, and he made very particular observations on the great and supernatural eclipse which happened at the time of our Savior's crucifixion. A bit of history there. The sanctity of his conversation and the purity of his manners recommended him so strongly to the Christians in general that he was appointed Bishop of Athens. Nicodemus, a benevolent Christian of some distinction, suffered at Rome during the rage of Domitian's persecution. Protasius and Gervasius were martyred at Milan. Timothy was a celebrated disciple of St. Paul and Bishop of Ephesus, where he zealously governed the church until AD 97. At this period, as the pagans were about to celebrate a feast called Catagogion, Timothy, meeting the procession, severely reproved them for their ridiculous idolatry, which so exasperated the people that they fell upon him with their clubs and beat him in so dreadful a manner that he expired of the bruises 2 days later. Well, that's today's reading from the book. Do you see any, in that last one especially, anything like what goes on today? You make certain groups of people angry and they're all over you. But it'll get worse. Someday it'll be clubs. They'll beat us to death. Brothers and sisters, can we take it? Can we stand up to it? Can we stand up for Jesus? Do we have the faith, the fortitude, the gumption and the guts? Mostly, do we have Jesus? Are we really, truly born again? Well, God bless, brothers and sisters. Have a great day. And tomorrow we'll take up with the third persecution under Trajan, AD 108, as we move through history.